In today's world, we only watch the endings, a flashy success story or the brutal collapse. But we don't hear about the full journey that it took to get there. The late nights, tough calls, moments of doubt. On In Between Sips, we dive deep into the raw, unfiltered stories of what these business owners and leaders have been through and who they became along the way. So pull up a chair, pour a cup, and join us. We're just getting started. Because we all know the best conversations happen in between sips. Jason, thanks for coming in.
Yes,
Looking
thanks for
forward
having
to chatting.
me. Salute.
Now, I know you as the CEO extraordinaire.
That's what some say.
Of a pretty prominent recovery center, right? Yeah. And I got to know, though, I mean, did you always want to go down this path, right? Did you always see yourself as a big-time CEO, my friend?
I mean, I think I always thought myself as a big-time CEO. But one thing I've also learned through the years, that goals you don't achieve are called good ideas.
Yeah.
So that was a good idea of mine, and it took a long time to actually achieve that goal.
Yeah.
But, Desert Recovery Centers, luxury inpatient treatment center, I mean, built it from, I did everything from the licensing to hiring the staff to putting the programming in, to firing a bunch of marketing companies to find you. No. And here we are.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, but really everyone for the most part that works in recovery, and you have the ability of knowing a lot in the industry, we have a passion for this because we've been through some things. Yeah. And I like to joke around, my mom's a lifetime educator, and I'm like, Mom, see, you didn't know that I had this foresight with these critical thinking skills. Yes. I saw your 4-page resume and I wanted one of my own. So I had to get the experience in this field that happens to be substance abuse and mental health, which I have plenty of experience in now and major consequences. Yeah. And I was building that resume that gave me the ability to connect, to have that awareness, to reach these clients, and ultimately to have a team that wants to work with me and for me and keeps the clients number one.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, the path to get there, might be a little dicey, but I love that you have such a positive outlook on that too, though, to know that everything happens, for the good, right? And so walk me through that. Like what was your life like growing up? I mean, CEO now, but let's take a step back and walk me through, where you were at.
Yeah. I mean, every journey starts somewhere, man. And my journey started in Peoria, Arizona, dude. Born and raised, Cactus Cobras.
Go.
Shout out Cactus.
Another
you know
native.
What it is. Cobras.
Right. I was
Shout
in
out
Glendale.
class of 2000. Yep, 42 years old. Ryan, did you do the math on that? Did you do prison math? All you prison math guys out there, I know prison math. We'll get there in a second.
Yeah. I just did math.
You just crossed. When I say prison math, all of us guys that had to experience extreme consequences for our addiction, it's how we cope with our sentences. Yeah. So we have this tricky thing called prison math, where it helps us to feel like we're getting out 3 years earlier than we normally would, just so we can get through the next 3 years, right? Because there's light at the end of the tunnel when there's not light. So always we get our good time. 65% is going to pass, because in Arizona you do 85% of your time. Oh, okay. For 2 decades they've been allegedly passing 65%. Wow. Never happened, hasn't happened, but we always believe it's going to happen this legislative session in February. So take that year off, right? So even the prison math, so I grew up in Peoria, Arizona. I had a great childhood. My parents are amazing. They just celebrated 50 years of marriage.
Congrats. That's huge.
They're huge, dude. They gave me every opportunity in life to be successful. There wasn't anything that I didn't have, anything I needed or anything I wanted. And I'm a 12-step recovery guy. Just celebrated 7 years of recovery,
Congratulations.
So yeah, thanks. And when these clients come in, dude, I know exactly how they feel. I've been there and they can feel it, And I always tell them, I don't know how this journey is going to play out, but one thing I know for sure is we're going to be right by your side the whole time. Yeah. That I know. Yeah. But it took me a long time to get that gift of pain and desperation and want to do something different. Yeah. When I look over my childhood and my history and I try to pinpoint major areas, there was one major area for me that really started a whole bunch of things, character defects, if you will. In 8th grade, my dad let me have a graduation party and we had some beers and all the things. They didn't know.
In 8th grade.
8th grade. So we have 8th grade graduation party. And what happened was the high school kids came to my graduation party. And when the high school kids came to my graduation party, and I was never the most popular kid, but that day I was. Yeah. And so now I realized that if I throw parties, people will like me. If I compromise my own needs and wants and what my parents want, people will like me. I began to compromise my own needs and wants to be liked by everyone. I suffer from people pleasing. I have a hard time saying no. I don't like confrontation. I believe I can read your mind and I want to be liked. And so in that moment of that guy, the party guy, Jason's house, Jason, I try to chase that feeling for the next 20 years. I tried to relive that party and really high school. Specifically, 1997 was a good year. Sophomore year in high school, brother. It was a good year. And that's all my disease wants me to remember when it was fun.
Yeah.
But there's prison sentences, there's car accidents, there's crying mothers, there's crying daughters, there's crying, a wife that was with me through this whole thing, and you always think the consequences are going to go away, and they never do.
Yeah. That's a really big lesson to learn. I mean, 8th grade, like that's early on. Yeah. Cause then you were saying, then, soccer stud, high school, college, right? Mm-hmm. So like all signs pointed to what you would say is like, hey, he's on the right path.
He's on the right path.
But in the back of your head, you always had that feeling you were chasing.
Yeah. And, in my path of recovery, I'm a 12-step guy, and it talks about being under constant fear and tension. It talks about trembling to think someone might have observed the things that we do on our sprees. Yeah. And my mom cares so much. She's a question-asking mom. I literally had to have a cheat sheet before Sunday dinner. What lies have I told her? Like, it's like playing pinochle for the first time, dude. You got to have a cheat sheet so you know how to count your meld. You know what I mean? And it's just like...
and every lie gets worse and worse and more outlandish. And then,
I mean, it just gets deeper and deeper. And, we lie to the people we love the most because we have a fear that they won't love us if they knew the truth. Yeah. And they'd also realize we've been lying to them for a very long time. Yeah. And I lied to my parents for a very long time. In high school, if my parents were gone for more than 3 hours, I was having a full-scale kegger. I got at least 17 minor consumptions of alcohol in high school, tons of community service. The cops in Peoria would just come drive by my house. That'll fill up the whole night.
Wow.
To the point I wasn't allowed to stay there anymore. I'd kick in a door, leave a window open. I'd have to take pictures of the house because my dad would leave it booby trapped to make sure I wasn't there. We'd have to park 6 streets down, hop 5 fences.
It's like Goonies in real life.
Yes, dude. That's how insane I was and disrespectful and selfish because that's what I suffer from is selfishness. Yeah. But I was really good at soccer. Captain of every team I've ever been on, won a ton of awards, to the point where I had scholarships all over the country. But the biggest thing for me was with my disease is the character defects. And Ryan, let me tell you something. Some of my main favorite ones, lie, cheat, manipulate, steal. Those are my favorite ones. Instead of my parents grounded me. They tried everything. Yeah. Door off. I mean, you name it, they tried it. Right? I was grounded all the time.
Did you have the same rule? We started instilling it like lock a door, lose a door.
Pretty much, dude. Doors were gone.
They were gone. Didn't matter.
Keys are gone to a car that they bought me. All the things, dude. I experimented with every kind of drug. My ego wants me to tell you that I was a drug dealer, but I wasn't. I gave away a lot of drugs, but I always sold them for so cheap. So you would like me. I was always hustling backwards, dude. I never made any money. I never made any money, bro. And so finally I had all these soccer scholarships. I had given my parents fake report cards for 4 years. I made them. I sold them on campus. I called the phone company, blocked the phone numbers so they couldn't call my house and say your son or daughter's missed one or more classes.
Wow.
All the things.
So this business model went deep, like high school.
I sold progress reports, report cards on the right paper, went to Office Max, and we're talking, this is in the 96, 7, 98. Yeah. We're talking, you got to get, wow. And so.
Did you charge more than eggs at least?
Yeah, I charge more than eggs, more than the 24 pack that's like $29.99.
Some crazy number right now.
Yeah. And, sold fake report cards, did all that stuff. So finally I had soccer scholarships all over the country, right? And so my parents give me an SAT tutor. I got to get a good SAT score. They go out of town. I have a party. And someone gives me some acid for a cup at the keg. You ever done acid, Ryan?
No, I have not. Yeah. But those eyes you're giving me right now.
I'll tell you all about it, brother. I'm seeing 3 of you right now from residuals from high school.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Long story short, man, someone gave me some acid, and if you're a 12-step person, we talk a lot about cunning, baffling, and powerful. And the baffling thing that we talk about is the utter inability to leave it alone no matter how great the necessity or the wish. Yeah. Now, I knew I had to take that SAT test. I knew college was writing on it. I knew my parents had everything writing on it. I knew they had the SAT. I knew everything, right? But the baffling feature is the utter inability to leave it alone no matter how great the necessity or the wish. I could pray it, I could wish it, but I can't not do it. I literally took the acid right before the test. I went to Cactus High School on acid, took an SAT test, made a design, shit got weird. And I left.
Oh my!
Right?
Did you at least get the credit for your name, or was that?
I mean, yeah, my name
Did you
was
get
right.
The points for the name.
Yeah, it was such a low score. It wasn't even funny.
Jeez.
So I didn't get into Division I college. There was a coach that took a chance on me, and I ended up getting a soccer scholarship to Phoenix College.
Okay.
Now, before I go to Phoenix College, I'm a drug dealer, alleged, and I'm selling a quarter pound. It's on a Sunday, right? To my friend who's now sober. Shout out Matt Mora. He probably doesn't even know this, but I'm selling it.
He's
to
in the
him.
show now.
Yeah.
Matt's in the show.
Shout out Matt. He was buying a quarter pound from me, and I needed to pinch it, a gram out of it, of course, because I got to at least make $20 on the damn deal, right? I'm in my girl's car naturally, a Hyundai Tiburon. I can't get the digital scale level, so a community mailbox looks level to me. So I use a community mailbox in broad daylight to weigh out a quarter pound on top of a digital scale, and the neighbors thought I was breaking in the mailbox, and I got arrested for the first time that day. Oh. And I had a gun. Because I'm gangster, I'm Italian, I'm from New York, I'm Goodfellas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Thing.
The whole thing.
In a Tiburon.
In the Hyundai Tiburon, Yeah.
What color was it?
It was white.
Was it white?
Drop her off at work, take the pink dice, throw them in the back. Now it's my car, one of those guys. I didn't have girlfriends. I had hostages, Ryan.
Yeah. That's still better. I grew up driving vans and a Jeep Cherokee, right? I love that sucker, but man, it was like an old gold trim Jeep Cherokee.
My first car in high school was a 68 Volkswagen Fastback. I was in a Volkswagen club. Wow. I love Volkswagens.
Yeah.
I loved them. Still do. So I get arrested and I go to Old Madison Street Jail, get put on.
And how old were you when this first happened?
18?
18 going to Madison Street Jail.
18, 19 years old before I even started college. So in between graduating high school, going to college, I caught my first case and I got put on probation. About 30 days after that, I got an aggravated extreme DUI, hit a stop sign, a light pole, and a house with a truck.
All in one go, or was it different account?
It was one night.
Just one night?
One night. That was a Tuesday night. Right.
Wow.
So wild. We're talking Tuesdays. This is how I'm getting down on. There was this place called Time Out Bar.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was $10 to get in. You got a 24-ounce mug and it was quarter refills.
But,
Started at 3:00.
But you're 18.
I had fake ID. I also made fake IDs. So back then,
I should have figured. So I should have done the progress reports led to that probably. Right?
I also sold fake IDs, had a fake ID. I was going to Scottsdale in high school. I had a fake ID. I bought all the kegs. It was real easy. All I needed was a laser printer and some tape and nail polish remover. I would take nail polish remover, the 2 dates off, print it out, put it on the tape, take some nail polish remover, it'll remove the paper, the ink sticks to the tape, and you just put a clear piece of tape over the top with the dates in the right place.
Dude, there's no holograms. You had a process.
Right. And so I wake up in the hospital after that DUI. I'm cuffed to the bed. My dad and mom are there. They're like, okay, he's alive. Let's go. I'm like, great. I look down at the ticket and the cop has me sign it. He uncuffs me and it's in my face. I had a different fake ID this time. And it was under a guy named Matt McCarty. It was a real ID. He looked like me. Matt McCarty, I owe you an amends. If you're hearing this and you're watching this, I owe you an amends, brother. You didn't deserve to be treated that way. Right? So now I got this DUI out there in his name and I'm on probation. And now here I am at Phoenix College. I'm the captain of the team as a freshman, which is unheard of. I'm winning awards. On the field, great leader. Off the field, idiot.
Wow.
Here's what that looks like, Ryan. So I get the captain's armband and I say, you know what? We're going to take a team building trip to Crown King. We're going to get to know each other, build some camaraderie.
Dude, side note, I love Crown King.
Dude, that's my spot.
Our in-laws have a cabin there, and it's like my happy place.
So you might have helped us on this day.
Well, I don't know if I was helping, but I definitely know the lay of the land up there.
So Crown King was our spot. Bumblebee, hour off Bumblebee, dirt road all the way up. We must have camped there in high school 100 times plus. After high school, we had a hole dug for the keg already. We camped there so many times.
Wow.
So long story short, I take the team up there, and I say, we're going to get to know each other. We're all taking mushrooms. So we take mushrooms, everybody. I make everyone take mushrooms. We lose 2 players in the forest in Crown King. They wander off. Dude, we lose them.
No.
I have to call our coach, their parents, the volunteer firefighters. And that's what maybe you were there, brother.
Oh my gosh.
There's
like cemeteries around Crown King too, though. Like, did any of them get caught up in stuff like that?
They ended up getting lost and they found a lady's cabin and she let them in. It was in wintertime.
Oh my gosh.
And she let them in and they were high on mushrooms and didn't realize it was 48 hours later and we found them. And their parents were already there and everything and the coach. I sold some coke to a female soccer player. I didn't know she had a defective heart valve. She almost died.
Oh, man.
But I'm winning awards. I'm getting good grades, all the things. I'm on probation. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do for the sales charge. I got the DUI out there and it's sophomore year. I'm getting ready to graduate. And I tell my PO, I say, hey, I want to go to Miami for spring break. What do you think? He's like, no. Yeah, I'm like, fuck, he'll never remember. Do you think he remembered, Ryan? Hell yeah, you remember.
It's like his job to remember.
Dude, I think he probably wrote it on his desktop calendar. Inserra, Miami, call his ass.
Back in the day, it was like a post-it note. It's like, there it is, Jason, right there.
Yeah, it's because we're talking 2002.
Wow.
Right, when this is, and he says, no, I go anyways. He calls me, you need a report. I'm in Miami. Now I'm on a violation. So I come back, I graduate high school. Now I got soccer scholarships all over the place, but the problem is when they want to show you how good the school is, they want to throw you a party. And I'm an alcoholic. I throw up on myself. I piss myself. I fight everyone. I fight you. Then I want to give you a hug. Then I want to get more Coke. And I'm the guy who's mad when everyone wants to go to sleep. Do you have a friend like that, Ryan?
I can't say that I have, but it sounds like an experience.
It's an experience. We'll just say that.
Wow.
And so long story short, what ends up happening is I end up going to California. I get hurt. I get put on pain pills. And that's where my journey really takes a turn. Yeah. Suffered a knee injury, got put on pain pills. With that knee injury, I went camping in Crown King and tried to jump over the campfire with the long knee brace on and jumped into the campfire.
So just real quick, you were in Crown King with that entire experience and you said, hey, guess what? It's time for round 2.
We're going back. Yeah, we went there all the time. We went there all the time. That was our spot.
Yeah, that was your spot.
And so we go to Crown King. I drink a bottle of Jack Daniels on Bumblebee. So that hour-long dirt in a car. I drink a bottle of Jack. By the time we get there, I'm naked. I'm throwing chairs in the tree, trying to climb with a blown-out knee. Then I have this bright idea. I'm going to jump over the campfire. I try to jump over it, but I don't get high enough. So when I land, I put my hand, this left hand, right into the campfire, and I burn my whole arm off. And you know how that road is?
Yeah.
All the way down with a burned arm. They rushed me to the burn clinic. So now I'm getting pills for both my knee and this. I moved to Tempe. I'm going to finish my degree. I move out to Mill in the 60. I realize there's I'm a telemarketing guy. I'm a sales guy. I've always done sales.
Yeah.
And that's why I go so good with my addiction, right?
Yeah.
Lie, cheat, manipulate, steal. Like that's telemarketing that I worked. I mean, that's where the kind of jobs I had where you could, you rob people, you smoke weed at your desk, you can do whatever you want.
As long as you keep dialing.
As long as you smile and dial.
Wow.
And so long story short, I ended up starting a telemarketing company, ADT Home Security. I'm a licensed dealer for ADT. Now at this point, I'm eating 100 Percocets a day. It does not matter. 5s, 10s, 7.5 milligrams. I'll eat 30, chew them up, no water.
Wow.
Straight up, bro.
Just had to get it.
I made my own job applications, and on the application, I put, are you on any prescription medication? Check yes or no. If they check yes, I'm like, you're hired, Lois. What day of the month do you get them? Now, my desktop calendar, third Thursday of every month, Lois, you're hired. So now I can't eat enough pills. I get turned on to 80 milligram Oxycontins because it's going to be cheaper. We're talking 2002, 3, right? Yeah. Remember, I'm on the run from probation. My whole company is an alias. Mike Hamilton was my alias. And
do we need to do an amends for that too, or no?
There's probably a lot of Mike Hamiltons. Okay. There might be a lot of them. All you Mike Hamiltons, I owe you an amends.
Oh, man.
And so I get turned on to pills, 80 milligram Oxycontins. It was cheaper for a few days. Tolerance kicks in. I meet this guy, he's selling to me for cheap. And one day I'm like, dude, how are you selling to me for so cheap? He's like, I'll show you. Hop in the car. He's like, roll a joint. I roll a joint. We go to we go to Fry's. He pulls out this pad. He writes on it. He says, light that joint. He goes in, he comes out. We smoke the joint. He goes in, he comes out, and he comes out with 90, 80 milligram Oxycontins for $116.
What year was that?
This is 2003.
Because that's that's when it started. I think all the opioids and all that just started to kick off.
It's the big kick.
Wow.
I mean, they're everywhere.
So he was just going in and.
So he was writing scripts. So
he was writing his own scripts.
Yes. So he teaches me how to write scripts in this day. Wow. And so now I'm like, oh shit, this is easy. This is cake. Yeah. I had every doctor's signature and DEA number in Arizona. It's another show, another time. How I got that.
We'll have follow up for sure.
We'll roll that back. So I go on this. Now I'm writing scripts for myself. I'm writing scripts, selling scripts. I shut the company down. And I'm just getting loaded, And I'm Italian and a soccer guy. Italy won the World Cup in 2006. It was the greatest day ever. I said 80 milligram oxys on me. I'll be right back. I went to the Fry's pharmacy I've been to a million times. I didn't follow any of my rules. And I look out the corner of my eye and I see a pharmacy tech on the phone. I'm like, oh shit, that ain't good. Fake phone call, right? Hold on real quick. Yeah. As soon as I get to the front of the exit, cops are there. I try to run out the back stocking exit. I'm throwing scripts. I'm throwing pills down the cereal aisle, and they draw me down at gunpoint. I had 7 prescriptions in my wallet. I've been on the run from probation for 2 years for a class 2 for a gun charge, sales charge, 100 counts of paraphernalia for all the baggies. I had a safe in the car unlocked. Okay. And I got that DUI out there, and now I'm sitting in county jail. Now, back then, the pharmacies weren't linked. So I had a detective going to every pharmacy. So if you do county jail time and there's more cases that come up, it's called a page 2. So every other day, just about for about 4 or 5 months, I was getting page 2, 4 counts, 5 counts, 10 counts, 20 counts. I'm so smart, Ryan, I did them all in my own name. So it wasn't hard to find.
Yeah.
So when it was all said and done, I got 280 counts of forgery plus, and I caught a 3.5-year prison sentence in 2006. I went down in 2006. I did a prison sentence. I was sober that whole time, and I thought that if I just did push-ups, Ryan, my life was going to get better.
Yeah.
If I just do a bunch of push-ups and just solid, and they call the white boys peckerwood, solid wood. I'm Italian. It's confusing. They think I'm Mexican. They don't know what race I am.
Yeah.
But white power.
You're just rolling with everybody.
White power. Yeah. It's so dumb. But I was young then.
Yeah.
I was mid-20s, so I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is great. I'll do missions. I'll do this. I'll do that. Wow. White power. Like just dumb shit. It's just the dumbest thing you could ever think of. So I get out in 2009 with all these goals that I don't achieve. They're called good ideas, like I told you. And I'm a sales guy. So real quick, I start running a pretty big auto glass company.
Yeah.
And that's where I meet my wife. Shout out my wife, Ashley. We're getting ready to have a wedding this year. 15 years. She has been through with everything. She is a normie. And that's what we call someone who doesn't have the disease of more like I do. Yeah. She drinks a glass of wine, probably like you do. You drink a shot of a couple, some whiskey.
I like to sip on some whiskey every now and again. Yeah.
And you get tired, right? Afterwards.
Yeah.
If you're not listening to music and, then you're going to get tired like a normal person would. Yeah. Me, I'm like, let's roll. Right. Yeah. She used to find foil in the bathroom and be like, babe, what is this? And I'd be like, oh, I smoke spice on that. It's legal. She's like, oh, okay. What do you want me to do with it? Like, let me see it.
She's just like a saint of a woman.
Dude, she is, unreal, you know? And so I get out of prison. I'm on probation. I got a 3-year probation tail. I get off probation early. I'm making $100,000 a year. I get the Mercedes. I get the condo. I get it all. I got the money in the bank. I got it all.
And you're with your wife at the time?
She's a secretary at the company at this time. Okay. Right. And then after about 6 months, we ended up, getting together, and we've been together ever since. Yeah. 15 years.
But all that success, you're thinking like, I'm the man. I'm living the high life, right? I'm providing for the fam.
I'm doing so good, right? Wow. And so I get off probation.
Yep.
And the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous tells me exactly what happens. And it tells me, fall victim to a belief which practically every alcoholic has, that his long period of sobriety and self-discipline qualifies him to drink like other men. I thought I could drink. Never mind high school, the DUIs, the minor consumptions of alcohol. Oh, by the way, the DUI came back. It got wrapped up in that 3.5. Wow. So I'm on probation when I got out on that DUI.
Yeah.
And so, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do, and I get off probation and I fall victim to that belief. I can drink. My best friend, he's going to be in my wedding, celebrate 12 years through AA, sober. Yeah. It's a miracle. My 2 best friends from childhood, all 3 of us are sober, dude. 7 years, 12 years, and 14 years.
That's awesome.
Fucking awesome, dude.
That's awesome.
But he wasn't sober then. He's like, let's go to Vegas. Let's celebrate one night, Halloween. Let's go. Great idea. He's dressed up as Dog the Bounty Hunter. I was dressed up as a ShamWow guy. I had the piece, I had the khakis, I had the chamois on the shoulder, dude.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly, bro. And there was more that night.
Wow.
And I drank and I blacked out and I pissed myself. I woke up like the Hangover, except baby Carlos wasn't there. Mike Tyson's Tiger isn't involved. It's just me. I do the Macarena like a lot of people do who do Xanax and black out. They just check, make sure their arms are there, their watch is there, their wallet's there,
Wow. Yep.
Look at the cards there. Okay. So I do the Macarena and I feel like I got some money in my pocket, but it's just overdraft receipts. I blew all my money. My friend was in the bathroom a lot, and I'm like, what do you break out what you got?
Yeah.
He breaks out an 80 milligram Oxycontin, and here we are, dude.
Wow.
Now I'm making
the cycle again.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's the cycle. You're right. Yeah. It's obsession, desire, relapse, remorse, repeat. And I repeated for 20 years, dude. Wow. 20 years I repeated. And so I come back and I got to connect now to pills again. And here we are. Now pills, the oxys get taken off the market. Now I'm doing heroin. It's 2010. I'm doing heroin now. I have a wife. Now she's pregnant. And now I'm taking my sales guys on major trips to all the major cities. We stay there for a week in a hotel, door knock the whole entire state.
Still trying to live that double life where it's success on one end and then it's
exhausting.
Yeah.
Like it is so exhausting. It's not even funny trying to keep up this facade of everyone to think I'm doing good. Look at the Mercedes. Look how clean it is. But the truth is I put $1.14 in the gas tank 3 times a day. There's no insurance. The tags are expired and I got to park it in the garage fast. Yeah. But look at the car washes. Look how good I'm doing, Mom. Yeah. But in my heart, I know the truth. Yeah. and I'm under constant fear and tension and negative emotions, guilt, shame, embarrassment. Hurt people. My hurt doesn't discriminate. My mom and my wife let me in more than others, so they get the brunt of it, dude. And when I know love is an action word, and I don't like that shit. And so I want to change the way I feel. And so, so now we're in Safford, and now I'm on heroin. Doesn't matter if I bring 20 grams or 40 grams. By Wednesday, I'm out every trip. So I would leave in the middle of the night, come back to, Phoenix, pick up, be back by 5 a.m. with Starbucks for everybody. So we're in Safford. This trip, it's a day. It's the morning time. I drop all my guys off in neighborhoods. I'm like, you're working straight through. I got a guy with me. He's strung out in heroin too. I drop everyone off and we smash back. We meet the dope man. We're going through Globe. And as we're going through Globe, I roll the vehicle and I paralyze the dude. I can hear him scream, Ryan. That scream I will never forget. And the coldest part about it all is I didn't even try to help him, bro. I was looking for the dope. Like, fuck, I can't go to prison. I don't fucking know. I had dope in the car. And I didn't get arrested because he was hurt so bad. He learned how to walk again, all the things, dude. But, I came back from that trip and got fired. Naturally, I was in a company vehicle, all the things, right? Rolled it. Don't forget, I'm an hour and a half away from Safford. I got 8 guys in a neighborhood that have no way to get picked up. They don't know where to go. They're in Safford, all the things, I also discovered that my dope man sells crack. So now I'm doing crack as well. So now I'm doing crack and heroin every single day, bro. Like telling my wife I'm going out, starting our own auto glass company, and I'm just smoking crack and heroin all day long. Finally, Sunday, we go to her parents' house for Sunday dinner. I get there at 10 a.m. I'm dope sick. I'll be right back. Now it's 2 a.m. I'm smoking crack in the Fry's parking lot. Her dad's a retired Marine. I leave her 5 months pregnant at their house, and I show up at 2 a.m. looking scared, And what ends up happening is I get honest for the first time. I'm like, I got a problem. Like, obviously, you've been seeing a whole bunch of shit. You don't know what it is. I'm strung out. I go to Community Bridges detox. First time I ever went to detox. You almost got to shit on yourself to get in there. They won't accept you. And so I go to Community Bridges. I go to Crossroads, do a 16-day right track program over there, right? Now I got about 30 days sober, They allowed me to get a job. I say, okay, where's the closest telemarketing spot? They're like a mile that way, right? I walked into that telemarketing office, and that's where I met Ron. And Ron was the GM of that telemarketing office. Ron. Yeah, shout out Ronnie no matter what.
Ronnie no matter what.
And that's where I met Ron. Wow. And I made a $2,000 check my first week, won a 64-inch flat screen TV, and moved out. We had nothing at this point. My wife's 5 months pregnant. She moves in with her parents. We don't even have an apartment. She's getting ready to have a baby. I don't got a crib. I don't got anything. I get into this telemarketing. I get it all back within 30 days. I get us an apartment. I furnish it. I get all the things. I make it $2,000 plus a week. And me and Ron moved to Chandler and we started our own telemarketing company. We have the baby. I'm just smoking spice. So I think I'm sober. Everything's good, right? And then I have this bright idea. We're going to start buying stolen property off our employees so they're on time. Long story short, man, the wreckage catches up fast. So one day I come home and I check the mail and I got a grand jury indictment in there, dude, for a class 2 felony. And my heart sinks. And I'm going, oh my God, trafficking and stolen property, class 2 felony. Murder is class 1. I have 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 prior convictions. Arizona uses a sentencing chart. So 2 convictions, priors. Oh, you're way over here.
Wow.
So I know prison math, 5 years, no matter what. That's like, I got a 1-year-old and I walk upstairs and my wife's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's okay. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, it's okay. Now I go to my telemarketing office. I'm sitting in my office. Now I don't have recovery. So all I know is identify a problem in my life. Here's a problem. Now let's add to it. Recovery teaches me identify a problem. This is what we teach everyone that does the recovery centers. You have awareness. When you're aware, you're responsible. You identify that problem, right? Now get to the solution. But I didn't have a solution. So the only solution that I had was to get loaded. And that's what I did. And so I started doing heroin. So I go to court. They release me on a F2 OR on your own recognizance. Then I have another case that pops up for organized retail theft. Now I'm on an ankle monitor. Then I have another case that pops up and I'm on a $35,000 cash only bond. Thank you, mom and dad. Right. And then I catch a heroin possession. New case on 3 releases, Ryan. And now I'm back in county jail. And I'm thinking, oh shit.
How many years?
I need to get psych meds. Is what I'm thinking. I need to fix an internal problem externally. I need psych meds. I need something. It's an internal problem that has to be fixed internally. So I also find out when I get incarcerated this time that the city of Chandler hit me with a career criminal statute, and they hit me with a repeat offender program.
Yeah.
And what that means is a mandatory aggravated sentence. My pleas were 10, 12, 14 years, 17 years, 20 years. When I went to a settlement conference, if I didn't take this 8-year plea and I took it to trial, I would basically get 60 years, and that would be love. They'd stack everything. I could possibly get like 320 years with all the cases. So when it was all said and done, I caught an 8-year prison sentence in 2014.
Yeah.
8 years, bro. I couldn't believe it. I'm trying to figure out how old my daughter's going to be, what grade that's going to be. She was 2 when I went in. She was 9 when I got out.
Yeah.
I watched her grow up through visitation. My wife was amazing, right? And so I hit prison. Now I'm doing 8 years, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this time? And I'm on a real prison yard. So I'm on, a 4-yard, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm on like where they're literally the first day around. Here's an example of the type of prison yard I was on, right? Within the first hour of the cell doors being opened, they call a peckerwood meeting where all the white boys together, wood pile, we're having a meeting, right? And so they get in there like, hey, we got word that we got to kill this dude, right? Who wants to do it? And there's literally people fighting over who's going to stab and kill this dude. Right? So they can get that political tattoo that says white power because they stabbed somebody. And I'm sitting in the back of this cell just thinking, how am I going to do 8 years like this? This is crazy. They end up killing this dude. One dude was doing 7 years, ended up getting a life sentence, and the other dude was already doing a life sentence for a tattoo, bro.
Wow.
And that's the insanity of it. Stabbings, murders, you name it. You know, it was happening consistently. I ended up working my way down. I'm in Tucson. My wife's coming every other weekend to see me. She's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I finally get to Florence Complex. She's coming now. It's 45-minute hour drive. She's coming every other weekend, every weekend sometimes, bringing my daughter, not bringing my daughter.
Yep.
And when she's not bringing my daughter, Ryan, I can't keep my damn hands to myself. You know what I mean? I can't keep them on the table, brother. If you see my hands coming down here, dude, you know what time it is, brother. It's just a visitation fucking response, dog. All right, hands under the table at all times, dog. I might just start pepper grinding you a little bit right now, dog. I don't know.
It's a nice logo right here. I just say right there.
Right, and that was the way it was. Keep your hands on the table, but I couldn't. Yeah. And so what ended up happening was they documented every time I put my hands under the table, and when I put my hands under the table for the 6th time, I got in trouble, and they took my visits. Now, my program of Alcoholics Anonymous tells me there must be no reservation of any kind nor any lurking notion that someday we'll be immune to drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Right. And I had a reservation. And my reservation was if my wife ever leaves me, if I ever lose my visits, I'm getting high again. As soon as I lost my visits, I got high again.
Yeah.
And there it was. Now I go on this next year where I get a phone. I have a cell phone on the yard. Now I'm making drops on the yard. I'm hitting on the prison yard with ounces of heroin 3 times a week. I'm the dope man now. I'm literally the dope man now.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is I pick up a worse drug habit than I've ever had with a needle in prison doing 2 grams a day. And I'll tell you right now, I've been on lockdown to the most minimum yards you can get on. And even in the hole, you can get any type of drug you want at any point in time. In the hole, right in your food tray. Wow. Tell them what you want. They'll put a gram of heroin right in there and the number to send the money. You know, you live with your drug dealer.
Oh, man.
So now I'm the drug dealer, right? And have a horrible habit. Everything goes so good till it goes so bad. And the guy that's making the drops on the streets gets arrested. So now I got a horrible habit. And I also have 18 aunts and uncles in New York. Maybe not that many, but a lot. Yeah. Right? And so now I'm calling all of them. I need money. I broke a TV. I got into a fight. Broke another racist TV. My wife goes out there for Christmas. I call. She's like, "Do you something you want to tell me?" Yeah. I'm like, "What?" It could be a million things, right? Yeah. "How many TVs have we bought you?" I'm like, it's gangster over here. It's a hard yard. It's like Camp Snoopy. I'm like, people are dying every day. No, I'm strung out, you know? And so what they used to do back then when you were a troublemaker, they'd send you to Kingman. So finally, I was on the troublemaker list, getting high-speed foot chases with the cops. They're raiding my crib with the dogs. Wow. I had an ounce of heroin in my trash can, and the dog literally took a nap next to it and didn't smell it. Wow. Like, that's how close I came to getting more years. And I'm sitting there saying, I can't wait to get home for the holidays. Yeah. Can't wait to be home, strung out. What are we even talking about, dude? You know? Yeah. So I go to Kingman, and they're like, hey, dude, when you come to Kingman, everybody's on blocks. Blocks means no moves, no cell phone, no drugs, no store, no nothing. Yep. We want to see how you act. And so I tell them, dude, I'm strung out. Like, well, let's get it then. Now, I can laugh about it today, but I got a scar above my eye right here that happened from that fight when I said, let's get it. Within 10 minutes, I got beat up. I don't like to fight. I'm not good at it, but I'll fight you. And good thing in prison, all you got to do is fight. Wow. So I fight this kid right away. My 2 front teeth 7 years later are still sensitive to hot and cold from some of the ass whoopings I took on that yard. Wow. I was literally penciling ass whoopings right into my day. I'm going to take that ass whooping, then I'm going to store out a couple soups from every store because my line of credit's 50 cents, just enough to get $10 to get well. And then I'm going to walk the yard and dodge everyone so I don't get beat up again.
Wow.
And that's how I was living my life, bro.
So at what point did you like say, okay, there's some light at the end of the tunnel here? I mean, what was that transition?
This is it right here. This, you know, anytime I was a circuit speaker, I speak all over for 12-step stuff. And if I only have a short period of time, this is where I start, you know? And so just wanting to die pretty much. I did some meth and I started plotting on the head of the building. And so they kick the lights on at 5 a.m. I go up to his bunk. I'm like, what's up, punk? What's up, bitch? Why don't you handle your business like a man? Like, come get it. And he did, right? he handles his business like a man, bro. He beat the shit out of me, bro. You know, man. Blood on the ground, throws miscellaneous shirts at me, like, clean that shit up, bitch. That's how I was living my time, dude. And that's a no-no word. I didn't even try to clean up the blood. I just went back to my rack, put my headphones on, and started watching TV. Within 10 minutes, the whole pod's locked down. They're doing knuckle body checks. They're checking my body. They're doing all the things. They see me. They take one look. I've been in 17 fights. So I cuff up. I'm going to the hole. At this point, I haven't seen my wife and daughter for a year because I lost my visits. Now I go to the hole, I fail a UA. Now they're gone again for another year. Now I know that I'm going to get one more 10-minute phone call, Ryan, and I just want to lie to my wife and tell her this UA is a misunderstanding you see online, put some money on my books, I love you. So for a week straight, I'm trying to get a phone call. And finally, Sunday, 10 p.m. shift change happens, and I know my phones are off for a year. Visits are gone, and I didn't get that one last phone call, and I lost it, bro. I started flooding my cell. I became a shitter, a spitter, all the things. They came to my cell, but they didn't bring the phone. They brought the cell extract team, and they extracted me out of the cell. They put me in a fucking restraint chair with the belts wrapped around a spit mask. Could you imagine being wheeled through the hole in a spit mask in a chair? Like that. Everybody's yelling and screaming. They put me in a porter closet where they keep all the brooms, and I just cried, bro. I'm thinking, this is what my fucking life has become. Like, I have 3 years left. I'm fucking strung out. My fucking wife wants a divorce. My parents fucking don't want me to call them anymore. I don't have a friend in the world. They stole all my property. I'm in the hole with zero, dude. I got nothing. I got nothing in the hole in a single man cell by myself, and I was in there for almost 100 days. And I just cried every day. It just worked out. I could hear TBN on my neighbor's TV. After I was in that restraint chair and they dumped me on the floor in my cell, I had some realizations, dude, a couple big ones, dude. And the first one is love is an action word. And if I ask anyone at Desert Recovery Centers, anyone in recovery, you ask me through my whole journey if I love my mom, my dad, my brother, my wife, my kids, the answer is yes. And there's I'm not debating that one bit. But the facts are your actions, if you're anything like me, might show something different. And it became completely unacceptable to me in that moment. And I had the willingness to do something different. So finally, after 100 days, they moved me back to North Unit, Florence. That's God. There's no way I should have been back at that yard. I was the dope man. Why would they bring me back? Right? But they brought me back. And there was a guy there. His name's Josh S. He's going to be in my wedding this year. And I gave him some fake Western Union numbers to pick up money. It was literally my old phone number. Like, here you go, dog. Here's 300. Go pick it up. Just my phone number. So I go to see him like, I'm sorry, dog. You know, he's like, bro, look, I found recovery. I don't want to leave you behind. Come to a 12-step meeting today. You want to make that money, right? Come to a meeting. I said, you know what? All right, fuck it. I'll go to the meeting. I only went because of him. And what happened was when I walked in that meeting, I saw a bunch of guys, Adam T, Ronnie, Josh, Maui, Matt Leathers. I mean, so many guys that I was getting high with. And now I looked at them, I didn't even recognize them. And the big book talks about that. In the doctor's opinion, it says, from a trembling, despairing, nervous wreck emerged a man brimming over with self-reliance and contentment. I talked with him sometime, but couldn't bring myself to feel I had known him before. To me, he was a stranger. That'd be like if you knew me in active addiction. The whole yard knew me as the dope man. Literally standing on the middle of the yard, nodded out with a phone in my hand. In the middle of the prison yard.
And at that moment, just seeing everybody there, walking into that meeting, that's where it started.
I knew that if they can do it, I can just look in their eye, the tone of their voice, how high they held their head, how straight their shoulders were, the new shoes. I wanted what they had, bro. And then we were in a little trailer and we were sitting in a weird circle and there was a guy a little bit farther away and he's speaking into my soul. He's looking in my eyes and I'm crying. I can't even speak. And I'm like, this dude's talking to me. And that man became my sponsor and I got a sponsor after that meeting. I started to work the steps. And I started to really understand what this recovery thing looks like. The powerless is the internal struggle. The unmanageable is the external struggle. How do we use this power that we call God, that's our own conception, to make these changes? How do we develop a 50-50 relationship where I'm taking the action each day and my higher power taking care of the outcomes? How do I get enough honesty, hope, and faith to get to that point in steps 1, 2, and 3? And I understand that the power from the knowledge comes from the application of it. If it's the foundation of the program, well, you better know how to apply it.
Yeah.
And today I know how to apply it, and I get to show so many men, and have had the privilege to show so many men. But first, I had to teach something as the master, but I had to learn it first.
Yep.
And then I worked the 4th step, which is the reason why I kept relapsing, consumed by resentment, full of fear and horrible relationships because I suffer from selfishness.
Yeah.
I got honest in step 5. And, you know, I'm an opiate guy. So when I'm dope sick, there isn't much I won't do. So there's some weird shit I didn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, the principle associated with the 5th step of Alcoholics Anonymous is integrity, right? Because I don't know you jacked off the dope man in 99, Ryan. Only you know that.
Well, I know. Don't tell me that.
That was me. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good.
It wasn't Ryan. I'm kidding. But my point is, you know, we have skeletons and we have to bring it from the dark to the light so we can take the power out of it. And I did that and I was free. And at the 5th step, it says illuminating every twisted character, withholding nothing. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect deeds. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our creator. We begin to have a spiritual experience to feel that way because it's the first time we can go, like Ryan still loves me. He's still sitting here after I told him all that crazy shit. And turns out he did some of that too. I'm just hypothetical. Yeah. Hypothetical. Allegedly. You know, and then I made amends. I created identity in 6. I reaffirmed my 3rd step with the 7th step. It's one prayer. Amen comes at the end of the 7th. I made a list of the amends I was going to make. I made them in 9. And then I learned about the maintenance steps. And Ryan, I went on the next 3 years to sponsor 100 men on that yard. I taught the drug class on that yard. Shout out Miss Franz. She was a LISAC, licensed substance abuse counselor. She saw what I had. She saw my ability to connect, and she turned that whole class over to me. An inmate, from rules and regulations, certificates, and hugs. And I taught that whole class for 3 years, worked with thousands of guys, and that's what gave me the ability to really want to do this when I got out. The same cops that ran me off the yard and sent me to Kingman allowed me to speak to every newcomer about that hit the yard at orientation, about recovery, to extend the hand of recovery, to allow them to be on our list for moderate treatment. It was a group no one wanted to ever be in, and we had a waiting list, so I made it fun. And so March 19th, 2021, I just been out for 4 years. I got out March 19th, Ryan, and I said, you know what, I want to help people. Shout out Sanctuary, shout out Joey Landon. You know, he gave me an opportunity. I met him in prison. I hosted a recovery event for National Recovery Month in September. I did a roast. I did an hour-long comedy show, and I roasted everyone, including him. He showed up late to his own speaker engagement, roasted his ass. 2 years later, when I got out, he gave me a job. And he said $16 an hour. And I said, what did you disrespect the hell out of me with?
But that's where it started.
But that's where it started. And I go home, I'm like, babe, I can't take that job, $16 an hour. And she's like, and first off, my wife was with me through that whole prison sentence. She picked me up sitting on the hood of the car like Goodfellas. She earned that shit. She held us down. She kept my daughter in my life. Every single year for school, Ryan, she put a new backpack on the door from dad. Clothes. My daughter's 13, still to this day thinks that dad had paid for everything while she was gone. She never said one bad thing to me. I have the most, dude, my oldest daughter's an angel, bro. Everything, dude, I didn't see her for 2 years, then COVID. And so I got out with a whole bunch of goals that I wanted to achieve, you know, a whole bunch of things. I wanted to work in recovery, and addiction is progressive. It gets progressively worse, but recovery gets progressively better. You know, and I just wanted to work in recovery. And so I got a job, right? Doug Ducey, the governor, gave me a fingerprint clearance card with 23 felony convictions. That's a miracle.
I was gonna say, what a moment, full circle that must have been when you got that clearance card after everything.
After everything, fingerprint clearance card still on probation. And I learned the industry, and I got promoted really fast, and I learned how to connect really well, and I got some of the certificates and became a peer support and became the supervisor, was doing some licensing, and I saw how hard it was. I started a consulting company on the side, started licensing facilities, had the ability to license a reentry center. Bro, I was going back into prison, speaking to men on the yard while still on probation. I built a reentry program with 300 men and women that just got released while building desert recovery centers. I got in touch with a childhood friend, and he said, I'm looking to make a jump into a new vertical and a new business. You got a clean slate. Do whatever you'd want. And that's where Desert Recovery Centers was born. I wanted to coach soccer. Today I'm in my 3rd season coaching. They trust me, Ryan, with 15, 13, and 12-year-old girls with my past, with all them felony convictions, passed a background check. I had to go in front of the ASA board and present my case and get honest with the families and do all the things that I had to do. But I did it, and God took care of that outcome. Amen. And today I'm coaching. I'm playing in 2 leagues. I have a podcast too, right? I started the second day out of prison. I wrote that mission statement out at 5 a.m. time in the prison pod.
Yep.
And Kyle Cummings, he'll attest to that. He used to see me there every single morning. He was a guest on the show. I wanted to have another baby. I have a 3-year-old. I wanted to have a wedding. I'm having a wedding this year. I wanted to have business. I have 3 businesses. The financial goals. That shit makes me happy. The nice watch, the brand new Audi, all the things, doing it myself, the credit scores, investing, doing all those things. Like that makes me happy. But I was the happiest I'd ever been in prison when I found recovery with nothing and being away from my wife and daughter. I got off probation early. I mean, you name it. Every single thing has transpired in my life because my whole life, Ryan, was always about weathering storms. If I could just weather this storm, everything's going to be better. If I can get off parole, if I can get off probation, my wife will trust me again. My mom will let me back in for Sunday dinner. If I could weather this storm, everything's going to be better. But what I found out is it's not about weathering storms. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. The 12-step program taught me how to dance. And now I get to show others how to dance. And that's what Desert Recovery Centers is all about. You know, it's been a ride, bro. It's been a ride, man. You know,
Jeez, wow.
There's a lot there. We could do a few episodes.
I know. I feel like we definitely got to get you back and do some more stuff because there's so much to unpack there. But I mean, what an incredible journey.
And maybe next time we'll let you talk a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm fine sitting back, man. I wanted to learn, and you know, I knew briefly, but I didn't know the extent. And to hear your journey, man, and where you're at now, and to know that you truly care about these people walking in those doors because of where you've been and where you're going, man, that's inspiration. So congrats to you. We'll definitely have you on some more.
Thank you.
Get some more Nespresso flowing for us. And
anytime I can be on here, dude, the relationship that we have, the friendship that we're developing, dude, it just means a lot to me. It's hard to find people with integrity. It's hard to find people that do what they say they're going to do when they're not being watched.
Thank you.
And to find that in you, to find that, you know, in your company and everything that you guys do as well outside of this, it's refreshing.
Thank you.
And it gets me fired up.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people I want to be around.
Next few hours, man.
We could.
But thanks for taking so much time. I know you're slam busy, but man, it means a lot. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Wow. As you can tell, there's certainly more to unpack. We are just so honored that Jason would come on and share so much of his story. Please stay tuned for the follow-up that'll be coming out. I mean, that's what In Between Sips is all about, is really just having the conversation and getting to know somebody like that, understanding, you know, what it takes when he's running a company of that level, and his past and his background that led him there. So just so honored that he'd share so much. So please stay tuned for part 2.